Sunday, so hit us up anytime. Just come by, say hello, ask questions and stuff.
Yeah, I don't want this to be like a straight-up Q&A right here, because those are kind of boring. Throw out concepts, and if I like them, I'll expand about them, do little 5-minute biters here and there, so we can cover a whole bunch of ground. Does that make sense? So somebody, I'll do the first one for you, because I know you're shy. Somebody was asking earlier about Google+. Here's what I know about Google+. If you go to reddit.com, reddit.com is supposedly the front page of the internet. It's actually a massive, massive website, one of the biggest social media sites on the planet. And reddit.com has got an interesting concept, because the way reddit.com works is they have these things called subreddits. And then there's these things called default subreddits, which are things like, you know, funny is a default subreddit, so people go there and post funny pictures, right? And another default subreddit is like movies, and people talk about movies in there, right? And there's default ones. And then there's additional subreddits that you can add, and then you can remove the default ones, so you can kind of build your own experience on this website of your interest, right? And then we'll post content that people are sharing and voting on and talking about, right? One of the subreddits that they have in there is Best of Amazon. It's called the subreddit. And the subreddit, last I checked, had like 60,000 people subscribed to it, right? Which is pretty impressive. And then if you go to like the Best of Amazon, so it's reddit.com/r/best of Amazon, I believe. Don't quote me, but I'm pretty sure that's the URL. You will see that they have this sidebar with all these rules in it. One of the rules is you can't post an affiliate link for a product. Another rule is this and that. They don't want anybody but there with their own product selling stuff. Although there is another subreddit on Amazon, where I know some people are doing very well selling their Amazon products. But I wouldn't necessarily recommend that you try that unless you're very good at it, because if they catch you doing that stuff, they're not very kind on Reddit. Let's put it this way, right? That's not my point. My point is this. If there is a community that can handle 50 or 60,000 people specifically built around just Amazon, right? That tells me there's other places we can build similar communities, right? One such place is Facebook. So we could build a Facebook group. You know how you're part of our Facebook group? Why couldn't we have a Facebook group that you created that was just general Amazon deals, right? What's up? There is one out there. Could there be two? Yeah. How many Phil Robertson Duck Dynasty pages went up overnight after his whole fiasco, right? The market can support a lot. But then you ask yourself, can I build it on Facebook? What's the mode of operation to do that? And the problem with Facebook groups is you can't directly advertise on somebody that says, click here to join my group. You have to be like, click here, find this thing in the upper right-hand corner that asks to join the group, and then approve them. It's a pain in the ass, right? Compare that to Google+. So one of the things I taught in Plus Method, which we just promoted, it's a very good strategy, is we're doing a Hangout right now. And here's the only downside of us using a Hangout to live stream technology. If somebody found this on YouTube right now, they could watch this live stream. I can't make it private. If I'm doing this Hangout, even though we post the URL in our Facebook group privately, if somebody found this, like say somebody who was subscribed to Jason Flatland's YouTube account, they would get a notification immediately saying, hey, Jason's doing a Hangout. Check it out, right? And right now, we have 36 people viewing this Hangout. Earlier, we had a lot more. I'm assuming they're all ASM Masters people, right? But we could possibly have people who are not here from the ASM Masters, who are here from other meets, right? Watching this live Hangout. That's the downside of this technology. Now, it's funny because we teach this, and people are like, oh my God, what if I'm recording a course because I'm interviewing experts, and 2 people end up seeing it, and they get this whole product for free that I'm going to sell later, right? Who cares? Okay? Who cares? It's not a big deal. So that's the downside. The upside is I can spin this thing up, and we're doing live stream technology that 5 years ago would have took 15 hours to set up and $5,000 worth of gear, right? It's called a trade-off. But the point of this is if Hangouts are automatically broadcasted on YouTube to people who are subscribed to YouTube channels, what's your first inclination? What's the first thing that you should think? Okay, if somebody who does a YouTube or does a Hangout and has a massive subscriber following on YouTube and they do a hangout, it's automatically notified to these people, what should your first thought be? Fantastic, I like that. My first thought is immediately this. How can I do a hangout with that person? Because it's automatically going to broadcast to their 607,213 different YouTube subscribers, right? It gets better. This same hangout, if any of you are following me on Google+, it's going to show up. It's showing up clear as a bell. The last two aren't because they banned my YouTube account for today because it's under review. Because Will's bootlegging stuff on this thing, right? So these last two are not going to, these are going to show up on, I think, the Rapid Crush Google page, Google Plus page, right? But the first two we did today are literally just laying out there for all the public to see who follow me on Google Plus. And there's nothing I can do about it other than go to my Google Plus page right now, select hide, right? Or I can make these videos private, set them to private inside YouTube, right? Or I could download them from YouTube. There's a little button in your video manager, and then delete them from YouTube, right? But as it stands right now, anybody following me on Google Plus could theoretically watch this for free, even though they're not allowed to. And there's not much I can do to stop them. So, if I can find somebody who has a huge Google Plus following, what does that mean? If I can get them to host the Hangout, then I could potentially be exposed to all of those people, right? So what would I do to make that happen? There's a couple things I'm going to be doing in 2014 to make this happen. One of these things is I'm going to get on and I'm going to find experts. So say I have a skincare product, right? I'm going to say, who's just crushing it on Google Plus in that niche? Who is a health, skin expert, whatever, with a huge following on Google Plus, who I can do a hangout with and do interviews on, right? And what's in it for her? I'll say, you know what? I sell this product over on Amazon, and every person I do this interview with, as a free bonus, I'm going to give them your interview. So I want you to plug your website, your book, blah, blah, whatever you want on this hangout, right? Free exposure for you. If we just stop there. Good, right? Because anybody who's watching them do this hangout that you're doing with them, all you do is at the beginning of the call, hey, Jason Fladlin here from bestamazondeals.com, right? Where you get products for $1 and free shipping all the time, right? I'm interviewing this expert today, you know? Half the people listening to the interview have already went to your website, right? Bookmarking it, buying stuff already. And you haven't even done the interview yet. Does that make sense? And at the end you say again, well, this has been another great interview from Jason Fleming at bestamazondealsyou've-ever-seen.com, the only place I know where you can get $1 products, such as the skincare product that I have up right now, including free shipping. Right? So you could do it that way. The other way you could do it is this. This is Jason Fladlin here, owner of the Google Plus community on the place you can go to get the best deal on skincare products. So add us at whatever, you know, so go to here for more information on that. Anyway, blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. Boom. Okay? Just in the interview alone, you can build a huge community of followers. Join me on this community if you want more information, right? But here's where it gets better. So when somebody posts automatically when they're doing a hangout, it shows up in their Google Plus feed. Guess what you do? You cruise on over to their page and you leave a comment on it, right? Thanks, Betsy. It was a blast. I'm going to also, if it's okay with you, I'm also going to post this to my community, my Google Plus community over here. Link, right? What do you think all of Betsy's subscribers are going to do? I know it's late, but come on here. Give me something. They're going to go over there, aren't they? Now, this works on Google Plus for one specific reason. Because nobody's doing it. Okay, at Facebook, how many private messages do you think I get a day? You know? My one I hate the most, and if you've done this, I'm not picking on you, but mine's like, hey, Jason, I see you're an internet marketer just like me. Maybe we could talk about it sometime, right? Hey, we got a lot of the same friends, right? I bet you we could compare stories. I'm serious. I get messages like these constantly. I just ignore, right? Because I get so many of them. Because everybody is super hyper aggressive on Facebook. There's a whole bunch of noise on Facebook. There's certain limitations on Facebook, like you can't automatically interview somebody on Facebook and have it go out to their whole page, can you? Their whole following, right? So this is why this works in Google Plus specifically. So that's our strategy that we're going to be doing in Google Plus in 2014. One of the big ones. I do know for a fact that Google Plus is eventually going to open up paid advertising through AdWords. That is going to be a gold mine. I'm just waiting for it. So when that happens, I'll be the first person running Amazon ads on my Google Plus. What's up?
Yeah, I'm not sure if this is exactly Google Plus related, but I notice sometimes on my Google Calendar, other people's events get onto my calendar somehow. Do you know how that happens?
I do not know how that happens. It's silly that they let that happen, but it happens. Okay? Which just goes to show you how invasive Google Plus is, right? From a consumer, I hate it. From a marketer, I'm like, ooh. If people are getting on my calendar illegitimately, imagine if I actually got them to put me on their Google Calendar, right?
Yeah, they create an event, and then they invite their circles to the event, and if you've circled them back, there's an option to select who you're going to invite and put on their calendar.
See, the
Honestly,
spam king knows how to do it
it's
here.
so spammy, I would never do it because it just pisses people off.
Yeah, not only does it not work, it does the opposite. It makes them...
It just makes them upset because if somebody puts an event on their calendar and it just happened that they're in a different time zone than I am, and I sync my Google Calendar with my iPhone, so at 2 a.m. my iPhone goes off, right, because of their event is about to start. I mean, that's just horrible. It just makes me really upset at them. I'm going to unfriend them just because of that. So as cool as it may sound, just don't do it. It's just bad practice. It's spam.
Yeah, much better would be like, if we're doing this event, it's so amazing. If you'd like to add it to your Google Calendar, click here. Now they're more likely to attend your event, right? I'm thinking about using that with webinars. So on a webinar sign-up page saying, oh, by the way, if you got me on Google+, click this button and I'll give you a reminder of the event, right? And the event's nothing more than, hey, go to this URL and join this webinar. That's the whole event. Lots of opportunity there. Those guys told me I could talk about what they were doing on Slick Deals. Is anybody familiar with Slick Deals? Has anybody used it for profit? Bruce. I know we had that long conversation about it that one day. Anybody who's tried to use it but had trouble with it? So everybody just knows about it, but almost nobody used it, right? Come on. Yes, I will explain it. So Slick Deals is perhaps the most popular forum for special deals. So you could go there and be like, hey, I found this really great offer. Buy it. And I mean, how many people would do it? 50 to 100, just like that, right? In one day, or less, even less. An hour sometimes, depending on the offer, right? Yeah, they did 100 and how many, like a minute? 101 minutes. Slickdeals.net. Okay? Now, you will probably want to do what most people did, and it won't work. Okay? You will want to go in there and be like, hey, everybody, buy my thing over here, right? And they will boot you out there so fast, so hard, that you won't even have time to blink. Because do what I do, okay? I read every term that they had on there. I read every rule. I read every sticky, okay? If you want to make this work, you got to season an account. So what I mean is you join today. Tomorrow you start thumbing up, thumbing down, different deals, right? Post a couple replies to some deals here coming after a while, right? Is it cool I'm sharing all this stuff, guys? All right, cut me off if I'm saying anything I shouldn't be. And you post a couple deals that you say, yep, this deal worked for me, right? Or, oh, this deal didn't work for me, or this deal ended, or helped somebody else who's asking a question, right? And then after a couple weeks of building your rep, because you will get a rep this way, people will vote, yeah, this person's cool, right? Then you go on there and they say, I found this deal through their website or something. So it's not you because you can't post. You're not supposed to do your own promotion, right? And then you post it there, okay? And you can move a lot of units very quickly. And even better is you don't have to give it away for $1. Yes, you don't want to use the ranker URL. You do not, because your conversion will be horrible. Your conversion will absolutely be horrible. I remember because Cliff and Jessica would be like, dude, we moved like 150 units and lickety split time. He goes, but we dropped one spot in the ranking, right? Did you guys drop? You dropped 30 spots. Okay, they dropped 30 spots in the ranking, and I'm like, whoops. Now you bounced right back, right? Oh, okay. It wasn't even your main keyword, though, was it? No. But it's funny because a lesser competitive keyword they dropped 30 spots on because they moved so many units so fast in Slick Deals. What had happened was because they set a limit, I believe, and when people hit that over that limit, they couldn't buy it anymore, right? So they're constantly re-hitting that damn page again saying, let me buy, it won't buy, I'm trying to buy it. So their conversion rate had to be like 0.001%, right? Because they used the ASM ranker link. So I told these guys, hold on, I'll get you. I told these guys, put a doorway page in front of it, right? So those guys go and put a doorway page in front of it. Still did 7% conversion, right? But it did move up. But 7% conversion is not good enough, right? They put the call to action above the fold. I told them to bury it. We were just joking about this because I'm like, you're going to give me a testimony that says, Jason, help me decrease my conversion rate, right? Because I did. But we increased his actual ASM ranker stuff. So we got less people overall that were able to redeem his deal, right? By making it harder to order. But his conversion rate should be 30 or 40%. If it's 30, 40%, if he can get that, if those guys can get that, they will crush it. Now, those guys have went to the well one too many times, and so right now they're like on probation at Slick Deals. And they're like, oh, it's these guys again, right?
That's okay. I'm on probation on Google Hangouts.
Yeah. So you have to be very, very discreet and very, exercise self-restraint with something like this, okay? If you use it. Now, the only other problem in this thing is it's not only just a very long-term strategy, but then you have to be very careful. Like this is just one of the examples, is you can move so many units so fast. But you can do it at a 60% off or 70% off. And so when these guys first told me this concept, I got really excited because I'm like, man, I'll run deals all damn day long on that thing, even if I'm making $1 a redemption. Because if those guys are moving 100 units in a minute, if I only made $1 per 100 units moved, and I did that 30 days a month, how much money did we just make, right? $3,000 from something I could hire somebody from the Philippines for $2.50 an hour to do, right? Got excited, okay? Because of the power of that. But you have to be smart about Slick Deals. You can't just run down there and try to spam the hell out of that thing and expect it. Because one of the reasons why Slick Deals is so great is because they're so anti-promotion. Right? So the really smart thing to do is to actually post a deal that's not Amazon related whatsoever, that's not you first. But that's a challenge too, because those deals are really good on there. So you have to do your due diligence and find a really good deal, otherwise they'll kick your ass and boot you out there. You know, you'll get bad rep because you won't make a really good deal. But Slick Deals is something to keep your eye on, and spend 2 weeks just visiting it, getting yourself familiar with it, and looking for the opportunity and trying to understand why are people responding to these deals, why do people have really good rep. Because if you can get really good rep in Slick Deals, you can move thousands of units for free, effortlessly, while increasing like crazy your rank. I got him, and then I'll get you next. Okay, cool. Because think about it this way. If we let anybody and everybody spam the hell out of it with their own deals, what's the quality of that site going to go to? It's going to be MySpace all over
It's a social
again.
community. They don't want it to be self-serving, right? They want it to be really amazing deals. Like you can go to Best Buy and you can buy this TV for $50 and it's worth $1,000. That's a really, really awesome deal. And it's something that a lot of people would be interested in. So if everybody was there posting Garcinia Cambogia, how awesome of a deal is that?
The really good deals are
right?
going to get buried because we're just trying to...
Yeah. And it's a self-policing environment, too, with the whole reputation system. I just had a thought, though. I'll share, I'll toss it out and ask for your feedback on it. How about finding people that have really good reputation already and going to them and maybe private messaging them and posting like, hey, I have this deal coming up. Would you like to be the one to post it? Hey, I'm more likely than not they're going to tell you no. They're going to tell you to go away, potentially even report you. But...
hey, I found this really good deal. I know you're into good deals. And then let them think they came up with the idea to post it on Slick Deals, right? You doing that? Oh, sorry. I should have told your secret there. I didn't know you were doing that, right? What you do is you put it in front of them like a carrot. So they think they found the deal, and then they post it, right? Because they're getting what they want, which is huge rep. But they have no idea that you intentionally made it so that way they would post it. Does that make sense? That's the kind of stuff you got to think of. Like I told Will what I wanted to do, and I think I told you guys this too, right? Build this little script that says only for customers who have already purchased my stuff, right? First of all, do not share this with anybody anywhere, especially those bastards over at Slick Deals, right? Second of all, because this is a unique amount of codes, this is a unique thing I'm running, you have to push this button to generate this code, and then after it's been pushed X number of times, it's going to expire, right? Now every time they push that button, it looks like it's a randomizer and it's spinning. It always lands on the same discount code with the same special link, right? So push this button to unlock your own personal link since you're a customer of mine. And we're tracking these. So only our customers can get these, right? But every time, they push the button, then it spins it, and it spits out the coupon code and the link, right? And so these people are like, hey, you're getting back on you, You tell us not to hit your Slick Deals page. You've been spamming us. Now we're going to get revenge on you, Because you're giving this product away for so cheap, and you don't want us to do it because you're going to lose all this money. We'll show you. We'll buy a whole bunch of them, right? That's the kind of stuff you got to start thinking of. And this is beautiful. Most people don't go this far and go this deep with something like Slick Deals, so therefore that's why it doesn't work for most people. But yeah, so lastly, and this is very important, is while Slick Deals may be the best, it's not the only one, right? The whole concept is if deal sites work, how can we get into deal sites? How can we find other deal sites? How many deal sites are there on Facebook? There's got to be lots of them, right? So, here's my tip. I knew it'd come back to me. So somebody brought up Groupon earlier, and we just got a message the other day, and this won't work for all products, but some products it will work for. So we had a lady the other day asked us if we do wholesaling. She really likes our skin cream, or she saw our skin cream, or yada yada. This is the third time this has happened to us, by the way, where somebody's contacted us and said, I'm interested in wholesaling your product. So we message her back and we say, yeah. How many units are you looking for? She's like, give us a price on like 35 units or 40 units or 50 units, right? We had another lady who wanted to do it for us, and we were going to sell it to her at $24 a unit, right? And told her that she could sell it at the same price we were selling it for, $29.95. And that was a good deal for her because she had a little boutique shop. And making $5 a sale on a product in a physical business, that's a really good deal, right? So, what you try to do, this is the other strategy here, is you try to identify these people who already have businesses that would resell products like these. So where would you look? eBay stores, right? Who's got the big eBay stores that sell the same product, the same type of product, or in the same niche or the same thing, roughly speaking, that I sell, that has an eBay store, right? Who has a Facebook page for their local business, right, that sells a similar product or the same type of product that I sell, right? Could I potentially run an ad or get their attention somewhere and say, hey, I'm running this special only for 5 different people, 5 retailers, right? This same product we have over here on Amazon that we sell for $39 or $30, I will let you sell it for less than I sell it in your store, right? Only limited to 5 people, and it's only, you have to order at least 50 units at a time, right? And now, what have I done? Well, first of all, my cost is lowered, right? Because do I have to do this deal through Amazon? I do not. Could I have our private label or our suppliers send it right to their doorstep, right? I could, couldn't I? So I will pay a little bit more in shipping than I would on Amazon, but I won't pay Amazon's fees, will I? So what do you think is going to happen? Am I going to make more money? So could I give them a deal, wholesale it to them, right? Wholesale it to them. I make more of a profit margin, in a sense, and they get benefit. The only downside is we get nothing on Amazon as a result of this, right? But if I can move 50 units, make $5 a unit, $250 right there, and I can give them a standing order once a month maybe, I like the possibility of this, right? So that's the other thing that I'm going to look at experimenting with, because if we've had 3 people, and we've done nothing to facilitate this, but if we had 3 people contact us and want to resell this, that tells me there's demand there for that type of product, right? I'll take it one step further. What if you write in your copy on your product description, this product is so good, people will want to sell it in their own stores. Now I'm just giving them an invitation, aren't I? Right? This works unbelievably well with beauty products. It works well with other products where there's little boutique stores and there's things like that pop up, and eBay stores again. So you might again proactively seek out, is there any massive eBay stores who sell similar products to us? Because we can then actively approach them and say, hey, what are you getting for that product and what are you selling it at? Would you like to make a deal? Now you might say, damn, Jason, that's some dirty capitalism, right? Because you're wholesaling a wholesaler, right? Knowledge is what makes you money, okay? The fact that I know how to do that is my reward. And I'm still giving them a good deal, right? So that's just another avenue that you can consider. The point of this is, at the end of the day, is there are so many ways with a physical product that you're open to making money that just do not exist anywhere else. And when you can say, this is on Amazon, that's something you got to look at, leveraging more than just the standard, let's push a couple press releases out there and try to move a couple units and then move up and then hope that just the ranking alone is going to make all of our money, right? Because Jennifer, who's doing very well, very successfully for us from ASM1, she's getting wrote up in the local paper now. They're doing all sorts of things around her because she parlayed that success from Amazon. And she jump-started a whole new business from that. And that just happened to be an easy way for her to jump-start the business. But it wasn't the end result, right? So that's something else to consider, is you becoming a wholesaler. And all you're doing is charging a markup. Well, what do you think half the people on Alibaba do? They're just middlemen, right? Oh, cool. So think of another topic.
Any questions on that while he changes his battery? So Carol had a question about partnerships and joint ventures. And here's what I said to her earlier. When you get access to that 6 and 6 coaching program, that 30 days that we're going to give you, there's a session in there about how to create successful partnerships. So rather than take time right now, because we only have a few more minutes, we only have 38 minutes left in this room, let me have you watch that, because I did about an hour-and-a-half presentation on it. So you can just watch that, and I think it would be a very good guide. We actually interviewed a whole bunch of people that had successful partnerships, and I think that would be helpful. And you can always ask in the group, too. The number one tip, and I gave this in the back of the room, is partner with somebody that has complementary skills, not equal skills. Because, you know, if you go to an internet marketing conference, for example, I see this all the time. You get the programmers in one corner, and you get the WordPress people in the one corner, you get the designers in another, and they all really like each other. They gravitate towards people. As humans, we gravitate towards people we have commonalities with. And this is the wrong thing to do in a partnership. You need to find somebody that has the skills you don't have, so that together you form a whole. Make sense?
You can tell Will and I are not a lot alike in a lot of ways, right?
Not.
That's great.
I draw two circles to represent our partnership. You know, Jason's on one side, I'm on the other, and the two circles intersect a little bit in the middle, because I know enough about what he does and he knows enough about what I do, so that we can communicate well and be a good resource to each other. Jason is the master at pitching products in a webinar, right? But I know how to pitch products in a webinar. I'm nowhere near as good as he is, but I know enough that sometimes I look at his presentations and give him tips to improve his conversion rates, right? And he does the same thing on the operations side. So complementary skills and a little bit of intersection is the perfect formula. So what other questions or topics are we going to cover? We have about 35 minutes left.
Yeah, if not, I got some other stuff I can talk about. What's the biggest thing, what's the biggest challenge that you're facing right now? Anybody, I can solve it for you right here. What's that? Getting on page one, yeah.
So the biggest challenge is getting on page one. Now let me go back to the earlier parts of the day. Is that really your biggest challenge, or is it really reaching your numbers?
It's reaching the number, but let's just assume that page one is a big part of that, right? Then the easiest way to get on page one is to give away the product for $1, and then just get as much exposure to that thing as possible.
Buy a page one ranking, right?
Buy a page one ranking. And then make sure you don't hurt your conversion in the process, right? And so you don't drop 30 spots. So put a doorway page in between it. That is the easiest way to do it. It might not be the smartest thing. I don't know. I like buying a page one ranking. I can't wait, because our vitamin C serum is going to kick in here pretty soon. I believe we're going to go live next week. I can't wait to blow through a couple $1,000s in advertising and, you know, lost product sales. Because I'm gonna buy me a page one listing, right? It might not work, because somebody might know, because this is a public product. People know what this product is of ours. So then we might get sabotaged, right? Which is scary in a sense, how easy it is to sabotage anybody's conversion rate, you know? It's part of doing business, though. It's an acceptable risk that you have to take. But yeah, you buy a page one ranking. You give your product away for $1 through the ASM ranker, and I will guarantee you, if you do it with a high conversion rate, there is no easier way on the planet to get a #1 ranking. And that's why we pushed this damn product so hard as an affiliate, because we knew we had a huge secret advantage that nobody else had. Because we, from just 4 days of work for our product, we got a #1 ranking. Page one from 4 days of work. 4 days of activity, that was it. We moved 190 units in those 4 days at $1 with a super high conversion rate. We landed on the top of page 2 at that time. And then from there, it just took over because the organic sales trickled in, and then they took care of the rest, and they brought us up to page 1.
Okay.
Yeah,
boosting sales from external traffic that is not Amazon traffic.
Yes.
That's
good idea.
My biggest challenge right now.
Okay. So the first thing that I would do is, and this is just me, this is the way I like to work, who controls the traffic that you would like to get access to? Can you name one source? Yeah, I'm saying who, though. Facebook is not a person, right? So be specific, right? No, come on, I'm being specific here. Sorry. I would say, who's the guy with the most popular blog that you would just love to have exposure to, right? Who's the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, all the way to the 20th, right? Contact those 20 guys. See what deals you can work. Can you get free placement and pay them a part of the sales? Can you take an ad out on their website, right? Can you work out a joint venture? Are they on Google+? Can you do a hangout with them? I don't know, right? And do the same thing with blogs, Facebook pages, right? But don't get bogged down, because it's easy to deceive yourself and say, well, I'm getting a lot done. Look at this 120 different page spreadsheet I made with all these data on it, right? It's got to be done with, my plan is this activity is going to make me this much money in this amount of time, right?
Yes, sorry. Jason,
Oh, John.
what is hijacking? I keep hearing everybody talk about hijacking.
It could mean a lot of things. Hijacking is like the boogeyman, you know? It's something you tell your kids to make them go to sleep. Not joking. The boogeyman will get you. Now, hijacking is, it's really easy on Amazon, in a sense, for me to say, what is John Carter selling? I'm just going to rip his listing off, rip off all of his titles, his bullet points, his images, his product descriptions, right? And I'm going to sell his product.
There's two things that can happen that people will refer to as hijacking. One is hijacking a listing, and one is hijacking the product, right? The hijacking of a listing is this. Whenever you go to an Amazon product, and you can go to your own product page, there's a button, I forget exactly what it says, but like, do you have one to sell like this? They encourage anybody who has a product that wants to sell a product that is that exact same product to sell it. So if you got a really good deal on smart water, right? You just got 10,000 bottles of this for like nothing. Camera. 10,000 bottles of smart water for nothing. I'm sure smart water is sold on Amazon. You could ship your inventory of smart water to Amazon, list it, and what listing page? Would you create a listing page for that? No, you can't, because that has a unique UPC code that has already been listed on Amazon. So what happens is you will be listed as an additional vendor on that same page. So when you go buy a product on Amazon, there's most of the times, if it's not a private label unique product, it says also available from these sellers, or it says
used or new.
Used or new, yeah. 8 new and used from this price, right?
A tiny little link.
And then you can click on it and you can see all the people that are selling it. So what happens is when you have a product that is like, you know, an unbranded, like one of these glasses, right? A glass that you're drinking water from. It's completely unbranded. It may have come in a box with your brand or whatever, or maybe just came in a clear plastic bag. I don't know. It's very easy for somebody to go source that product and come sell it under your listing, which may be at a #1 spot already, and they sell it for a penny less than you do, and guess who gets the buy box?
Yeah, they kick you out of your own buy box.
They get the buy box. You're still in the listing. You're still under the other sellers.
Now you're the one used and one new link.
You're still a seller, but you're not going to get the buy box. Whoever gets the buy box gets the sell, right? So they're going to get it. They're going to compete on price. So every product that I have ever seen be hijacked, and I kind of pay attention to it a little bit, is a product that is so generic that there is no specifying mark or anything on the product itself. I've never seen a bottle of Garcinia Cambogia that is that person's own brand be hijacked.
Yeah. This would never be hijacked. Right here would never be hijacked.
Now, it could happen that somebody will try and hijack it, but in that situation, it would be easy to get rid of it because it would be literally a counterfeit product. And so you just show Amazon as a counterfeit product and they'll take it out. But if it's a glass, a water glass like that, how can you prove it's a counterfeit product? There is no such thing. It's the same exact product, right? So that's one type of hijacking. Then there's another type, I don't consider hijacking, but people call it that, is where somebody will take your title, your product images, everything, and create a brand new listing and just copy everything, and they jack up the price. So our price, somebody's done that to us, and they sell our $30 cream, they sell it for $120. And I've seen people complain about this. What's your feeling on that? Go for it. I hope they get a #1 listing.
Yeah, because they're buying it from us for $30 every time they get a $120 order. We just made a sell.
Exactly. So they're arbitraging is what they're doing. But guess what? It's a different listing, so it doesn't affect your listing. That listing doesn't have any rankings.
The only thing it could
because they've never made any sale.
The only thing it could potentially affect is your brand. Because they say, oh, over here you sell for $120, right?
The other thing that will happen, and the other thing that will happen, let's say it was a counterfeit product, and some people said, well, what if it gets negative reviews? Well, they didn't buy your product list from your product listing. The negative review is going to go on their listing. Because when they go review the product, that's what they bought. That makes sense? So the hijacking thing, if you just, it depends on the things you sell, so be careful with. There was somebody that had a, I don't know if I should say it. Let's just say it was a light, a light bulb, let's call it. It was something like a light bulb. And there was no markings, no branding, nothing on it, and it was something from China that they got, and everybody else could do it. And even the Chinese manufacturers could say, wow, they're selling our product really well on Amazon. We should sell it on Amazon. And why wouldn't they? It's the same product. Anybody can sell there, right? So it won't happen for things like a bottle that has a marking and a branding on it or something like that that is specific to you that you own. Does that make sense? So
and
be
if
careful.
It does happen,
so if it does
it.
happen, deal with it.
Yeah. Don't worry about it though.
Right. So they could list it for $120. They'd never sell it because I get the buy box.
Will, that they would be added to. They could then add themselves to our listing, right? Right. No, he's right though. You run out of product first. Yep. In that middle ground where you ran out of product, they were gonna. Yeah.
True. If they were on my listing, I will get them kicked off. I don't care what they're selling it for. If they're buying it from me to sell it or whatever. On their own page, I don't care because they're not ranking.
They won't stop at Amazon, by the way. They'll list on JCPenney's and other sites, too.
Sears, yeah.
Sears, right?
Who cares? Let them list it. They're going to buy from you. Just not on my listing. I don't want anybody on my listing. I do not want anybody competing there. And so this is, you're going to have to be careful, too, with the whole wholesaler thing. If I sell to somebody wholesale, I'm going to have a contract with them that excludes them from being able to sell on Amazon.
Right.
Absolutely. That's one thing that I will do if I sell to anybody wholesale. They can sell anywhere they wish. They cannot sell on Amazon because in order for them to sell on Amazon, if they abide to the Amazon terms of service, the only place they can sell is on my page because I've already registered my UPC code, right? So if they're actually doing it by the rules, then the only place they can sell is there, and I don't want them there at all. I don't care how much they're going to sell it for. I don't want them there. Does that explain hijacking?
Yeah.
Don't worry about it until it happens, and a lot of people get caught up. Look, there's a lot of noise in the main ASM group because there are almost 3,000 people there, right? Or more than 3. I don't know how many. There are 3,000 ASMers approximately. So there's a lot of stuff there that is happening to people that have been doing this for a long time, and don't focus on the things that haven't happened yet to you. Focus on where you are.
Yep.
Wherever you are. If you're in the sourcing stage, think about sourcing. Don't think about hijacking. If you're in the promotion stage, think about promotion. Don't think about hijacking. Right? Don't worry about that stuff because all it's going to do is it's going to create negativity. It's going to be a roadblock that you can't get over. But now you know all about hijacking.
I remember you guys talked about once the email tool in ASM, and you guys said, we don't use it, blah, 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 because we don't like it, and we'll tell you about that later.
Yeah, it's not that we don't like it. It's just that, you want to answer it?
Yeah. I answered this at lunch, too.
Cool.
I think something that we said at one point was misconstrued as we don't like it, you shouldn't use it. And what it was is that we don't use it. And at first we didn't use it because we just didn't have time to set it up. And then when I thought about setting it up, I noticed something else was happening, and I decided not to set it up. And what was happening was that Amazon, when you sell via FBA, is going to send your customer an email requesting a review, regardless of whether you do or not, because that's what they teach to use the email tool for, right? Is to get more reviews. Hey, a customer buy, just send them a few messages and entice them to come leave a review. Well, what happens is you don't know if that customer is going to leave a positive review or a negative review. What we want to strive for is quality reviews. I want 5-star reviews. I will take 5-star reviews over 1,000 3-star reviews all day long, wouldn't you? So all I want to do is get 5 or 10 or 15, and so we found a better way to do that. Instead of automating and contacting every customer, I'm leveraging what Amazon already does for me. And what they do is every time they ship an order via FBA, they send out an email to that customer, and a very large number of customers, believe it or not, actually click through. So the concept of the email tool is valid. They actually take action on those emails. They click through and they leave a review. Well, they don't know this, but what they're doing is leaving a seller review, not a product review. However, very often, they don't get that difference, by the way. Nobody gets that difference. So they'll leave a product review in your seller account as a vendor review. So all I do is watch those reviews. And if anybody leaves a product review that is negative in your seller review area, you can ask Seller Central Support to remove it, because product reviews are not allowed to be in the vendor review area, on the seller review area. Does that make sense? Okay? So if it's a negative review, I contact Amazon and say, hey, get rid of this. And what Amazon does with negative seller reviews is, because it was an FBA sale, let me backtrack. If it's a product review, they'll delete it, because product reviews are not allowed. If it was a negative vendor review, like, well, shipping sucked, or the product arrived broken, or whatever else, and it was related to the fulfillment experience, then you contact them and say, this was an FBA order, it's your responsibility. And Amazon will remove the score, strike through the review, and put a note saying, this was fulfilled by Amazon, we take the responsibility for this experience, or some language like that. And you can easily keep a 5-star vendor review, because you never fulfill any orders. Every negative review is either product review, you get rid of it, or a fulfillment review, and you strike it through. Now, what if I get a 5-star product review?
On a seller review.
First on the seller review, in the seller area, because Amazon asked them to leave a review. First of all, I don't ask it to be deleted, because a 5-star is a 5-star, right? I don't care what it says. Second, I've discovered that if I then click on the order information, because every seller review has a link to the order, and I go find who that person is, and then I just go into Seller Central and email them right from inside Seller Central, I can say to them something of the sort, I noticed that you really liked our product, and I really appreciate you leaving us a review. Unfortunately, your excellent review was posted in this wrong area, therefore it won't be visible to customers who want to make a smart buying decision like you did. So we'd really appreciate if you could take your review, which is here, by the way, and then I actually write in 5 stars, dash, and then I copy and paste their review. And if you would copy and paste your review and do it this way, go into your orders, find a product, click write a review, and just paste it there. In exchange for your time and to an appreciation for you going through this hassle of doing this to help other people, as soon as you reply to this email, let us know that it's done, we would like to send you a free bottle of our product. I get 4 out of every 5 that I've ever sent that way. And most of them very quickly. See why I don't use the email tool? Because I don't know if those reviews are going to be negative or not. Now, if I constantly get organic 5-star reviews and everybody in the world loves my product, then I'd consider implementing the email tool, because it sounds like my product is so awesome, people really love it, right? And then I might be very willing to do that. But I'm not going for quantity here, I'm going for quality. That is why we didn't implement it. That's why I said we won't use it at this point. In the future, I might. Matson, you had a comment, so let me bring it to you.
Thanks. We were doing the same thing as that, and Amazon actually got mad and said you can't offer them a product in exchange for a review, so we had to take that out of our email. But it does work great for getting those people that had written a good seller feedback review to leave a review for us. So we still do that, but we had to take out the part about compensating them.
Yeah, that's the part. That's where Amazon, on one hand, doesn't know what the other hand's doing. Because technically, we're not.
They've never contacted me, so until they do, I'm going to keep doing it.
what they're confusing is they're saying, yeah, you can't bribe somebody into leaving a review, right?
I'm not bribing anybody.
We're not
to leave a
bribing
review.
them. They've already left the review. We're just trying to get them to put it in the right damn spot, you know. But you know how Amazon is. If you don't like the answer from support, call back 10 minutes later and they'll give you a different answer.
Were you doing that, Mattson, or were you sending them messages like proactively asking them to review?
No, it's just the same thing we were doing.
Same thing we were doing? Okay, yeah, so I know other people that are doing what we're doing now. We haven't heard back yet so from Amazon, so I'm going to keep doing it. And yeah, some idiot at support who doesn't know what they're doing messed up and probably didn't understand. Did you contest it, by the way? Did you go back to them and say, look, I'm not eliciting a review. They already left it. I'm just asking them to leave it in the right place. So you were just offering a coupon. Okay. Yeah. By the way, you don't even have to bribe people. Most people will do it if you just ask them anyway. We were just trying to go. I was trying to accelerate the process. How does Amazon know? They monitor this stuff. You could. Yeah, but it's a pain in the ass because you have to have some other contact point with them. Which is, by the way, why I like Facebook. Because if I can cross-reference orders from Facebook, then I can Facebook message them, and Amazon has no idea what I may or may not be doing, right? Because you can't do it. This is stupid in a sense, but I understand it. Amazon does not allow you to follow up with somebody. Hey, you just ordered. I appreciate that because you ordered from me. If you want to order from me again, here's a special coupon just for you. I'm dying to want to do that, but Amazon won't let me do that in the email that I send out, right? It's against what they want. Because Amazon says, we'll take care of the follow-up sequence. We don't want you to bug the customer. That's our job, right? But if I got them on Facebook, how does Amazon know what I'm doing or not doing? And even then, I can still do it. Nothing is wrong with that, right? Because I'm doing that marketing on my own outside of their web property. So there's another huge advantage to doing marketing on places like Facebook and Google Plus and other areas, because then all bets are off all day long. I can do all kinds of follow-ups, and Amazon has no clue. But yeah, Amazon is not stupid. Amazon is monitoring the fact that all you guys are logging on to Seller Central from the same IP block here right now, right? They know that, okay? And when you start buying each other's products, they're going to cross-reference that potentially and leaving each other reviews. That's why you don't want to establish that trail. Tess? Tessa's being a good citizen. She wants the mic. She wants people to hear her. What's up?
So with that situation, I have one negative seller review that came in because of the person trying to remove the FBA sticker, pulled off the sticker off my bottle. Yeah. And she's like, I can't read anything, and I don't know the allergy, and I don't know the ingredients.
Try to get it removed.
Okay. I immediately emailed, I've posted a response, and told her, I emailed her and I gave her all the ingredients and I sent her a label copy, everything, but I didn't know, would they remove that?
They might, okay? Depends on who filled your response, right? They should remove it because you didn't put the sticker on, they did, right?
No, but it peeled off my sticker underneath, so it could be a default in my labeling.
I have found Amazon is very liberal when it comes to removing seller feedback.
Okay.
They are very quick to do that.
So that was just my comment on what you were saying, but my biggest concern right now would be when to add on my next product when I'm still, in my mind, trying to build my first product.
Yeah, build your first product.
Okay, can you call my husband and tell him it's not time yet to add my second product?
Maybe I can do that. It depends, okay? It really does depend.
What are your thoughts on using the alliance tools?
I'm not qualified to have a thought because I've never ever really used it. I don't even understand how it works. Yeah, the whole concept of getting better promotion and having people help you get your videos and your all of your posts out there, whatever, more likes and more views, whatever. We don't use those things, right? We're going to buy traffic. Voting up and down reviews, honestly, I don't want to be revealing my product to a whole bunch of strangers I don't know. You know, the people I don't know or trust.
So I want to keep my products very, very private, right? So I'll tell you, without any malice, and I do not believe that anybody in the ASM Masters group has any malice. Maybe they do. I don't believe it. I'm going to choose to believe that everybody in our group wants to see everybody else succeed. Just because they started looking at our listing because, oh my God, this is Will and Jason's listing. We lost a massive amount of rankings super fast because our conversion rates went down, right?
And we all of a sudden got a whole bunch of one-star reviews at the same time.
And then we started getting one-star reviews, right? You know, do we really want to, and Paul Boyer posted in our group something that happened to him.
Something happened to him, yep.
So, you know, just, I don't know, we just don't use the tools. They're extremely powerful. They've done a great job creating those tools, primarily because we use other methods to get traffic. We don't use the tools. Secondarily, I'm not going to use those tools because I'd be revealing my product.
Now, by the way, like, because Paul found the guy who was doing this to him, I told Paul to sue the guy. You could sue the guy for damages, right? If you can show this was my conversion rate at 5 stars and this is what my conversion rate is after this guy messed around with this stuff, you can sue people. And don't be afraid to. The only problem is it costs money for a lawyer.
Yeah. And please, for crying out loud, resist the temptation to do anything negative against any competitor. It just doesn't pay. You know, it's very short-term thinking. It's going to bite you in the butt later. Just don't do it. Just compete on marketing. You compete on marketing, you use the tools and the knowledge and the information and the tips and tricks we're giving you. You don't need to play dirty. No. You just don't. Yeah, use the energy to do something positive. Excellent.
Are you advertising right on Amazon, the ones that are down at the bottom there? And can you share that with us?
We're not doing Amazon ads right now.
We are. We do Amazon ads. They don't yet. He's just right.
This is what the CEO does. He has no idea what's going on.
The Amazon ads, I recommend everybody run Amazon ads. They're dirt cheap. They're dirt cheap. They are, relatively speaking, they are dirt cheap, okay? And maybe for some products there are, but they are for most. And you're not going to get a whole lot of traffic, as far as I'm concerned. I know one person that claims they're getting a lot of traffic from it. Nobody else that I know is getting a lot of traffic.
There's a couple people.
But we've spent in the history of all of our Amazon ads for the last, whatever, 6, 8, 9 months, we've spent a whole whopping $30-some, and we've generated hundreds of dollars in sales. How many clicks did I get? I don't know. We don't get that many clicks. So in 9 months, maybe I got, I don't know, 50 clicks, 100 clicks, but it's free money.
Yeah, what I meant is we're not really pushing the ads.
We're not pushing.
We threw it up one time and left it out there. I thought we got lazy and just killed it.
I turned it on, and it's super easy to turn it on because you don't have to come up with copy. You don't have to come up with images. You don't have to come up with anything. All you have to come up with is your keywords you want to target. That's it. And if you don't want to do that, Amazon will take your listing, read through it, and actually tell you what keywords you should target. So all literally that I have done is click through next, 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 done. My ad was running. I have to set a budget. I think I said like
and that's where most people got screwed, is at first when they started using the Amazon ads, they set a budget. It didn't matter. Whatever budget you set, Amazon was charging you 2 cents a click.
Yeah.
And then they fixed that one day. But all the people who tried to mess around with their budget just to get more traffic, all of a sudden they were paying a whole bunch of money, right? Whoops. So we never did that. Now there are definitely a couple. Do you know what you're paying per click on average, Tessa? That's what they say, right? But have you tried running a super cheap ad? Can you set it lower than what they recommend? I don't remember.
You can set it lower, yeah.
Try it.
Yeah.
Try setting it lower. No, well then that's the problem, because there's really not that many impressions, or there's really not that many clicks anyway on it, regardless. But yeah, I mean, try it at a lower price. And try it at a higher price, because you can turn it off right away. You got to wait 4 damn days before you even know what's going on. Yeah, I hear you. All I know is we've gotten a positive ROI on it about 3 times what we spent. Four times? 5 times?
Yeah.
6, yeah, something like that, right? It's a lot, I mean, relatively speaking, but it's nothing to retire on. Well, yeah, run them if you can, and
it's free extra traffic. Look at it that way. If it gets you a couple $100 here or there.
The best thing is if you're in a niche where there is no Amazon advertising, then you will get 2-cent clicks all day long. Mm-hmm. You'll be on the first page. Matson? Or was there was, yeah.
I had a quick question. When you were talking about if we all gave reviews for ourselves, for our friends and people that we network with, does that hold true also with the family members that always give you the review and so forth, your network of friends and stuff? Should you switch that up a little bit?
I wouldn't necessarily. Really? They must be getting more aggressive with it then.
They are getting more aggressive.
There was an update, I can't remember when, this within the last 2 weeks, that says they've stepped up their technology that
let's not do that anymore.
Review process. And my daughter in another state had her review moved, and they emailed her and said, "We found that you're related to the seller."
Scary, huh?
Yes.
So if this is what Amazon knows about us, what does the NSA know about us, right?
Well, yeah, if you're constant, you may have shipped gifts to her, she may have bought stuff shipped to you and all that stuff. So the bottom line is this: as you try to game the system, because that's what we are doing, right? In some ways, it's trying to game the system to get us started, and then of course we stop doing it and start selling organically. Realize that those things are going to happen. Why would you be upset if your husband's or wife's review of your product got deleted? Truly, it probably shouldn't have been there in the first place, right? Do we all agree?
And it's not like they delete your whole listing then. They just remove that one thing.
They delete the review and that's it. I've lost reviews. I had, you know, a family
he got all
member.
upset about it at first.
I did.
Like,
I got
whatever,
upset.
dude. Who cares?
I had a family member who was at the house. They bought the product. They left a review. Then I had a friend who bought it from somewhere else. We'd never had that cross-reference of the accounts or whatever, and they wouldn't leave a review. They kept forgetting, promising me they would do it. Well, they came over for a barbecue one day. I'm like, hey, how about we leave that review right now, right? They were at my house using my Wi-Fi on their device, by the way. They left the review. As soon as they submitted the review, theirs never showed up, and the other family members got whacked immediately. So I was upset. I'm like,
I just said, what can you do?
But what can you do? You know, it wasn't supposed to be that way. So listen, we have. Let's take 2 more questions. Make it 2 quick questions. We have the mic here.
Follow up on that. Was that same last name or was it a different name?
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Yeah.
Oh, it's amazing what you can do with data cross-referencing it.
Yeah.
So separate. So the real question.
If she ever bought a gift and had to ship there, and
or if at one
person
point
bought a
she
gift,
shipped her own product to that house because they lived together at one point. I mean, on and on, right?
Yeah. All right, one more question.
So my question then is, you know, these ideas come to you very easily as far as ways to market, ways to do things. Is there, you know, for those of us who maybe don't do it all the time, any kind of a resource you could think to generate as far as, like, you know, you've talked about.
Just take one of the 56 ideas I gave you today and start there, right?
Well,
and then
those who can type fast enough and get them all down.
Well,
I guess you can go through it.
But the whole point of this is that Facebook group that we're running right now, that's not going to go away anytime that I ever foresee, right? And in fact, that's going to get much better and much better and much better. The funny thing is, like, and then I'll give you a great example. So Matson comes to me right before this promotion of ASM2, and he's got this crazy idea. And at first I ignore him because I'm like, I don't even get it, you know? I'm like, he wants me to pay him money to do some coaching, and I'm in the middle of a launch right now. What the hell is he even talking about, you know? But thank God he kept following up with me, you know? And then he says, you know that one bonus you have where it's going to cost you this much money for like an iPad? If we made this another option instead, it's not going to cost you any money. It's just another choice for them. I go, dude, that's smart. You know, I finally figured out what he's trying to offer me here. And I go, it's way too late for us to do this in affiliate for helping us as an affiliate right now, but after the sale has been made, we'll announce it just in the group, right? Now, we had an idea that Matson would be competent, right? Honestly, didn't know how good he'd be, right? It's kind of like buyer beware. Like, if you want to use Matson, you have dudes selling stuff on Amazon. Don't mean he'll be able to teach it, right? But sure, what the hell? Let's try it, right?
How many of you have used Matson? Yeah. Hand of applause for Matson. We should have done this earlier in the day, but Matson, you know, we keep getting nothing but amazing reviews. Thank you so much for doing this for folks. You're helping change lives.
That's
and this is really important. This is really good. We want everybody here to be successful, and I will tell you, Matson is a huge part of that, and we really appreciate him. So, Matson.
So the point of that is, do you think we're going to potentially get more Matsons and other people who can bring their unique qualities to this group? Yes. And are we going to develop this strategy since I'm going to spend $75,000 in debt and wait 13 months to make a profit, and I'm just going to do nothing but try all this stuff over the next year, share it in the Facebook group? Yes. And so the best place you can be is you live in that group, okay? Live in that group, and if you're struggling, if you need any challenge or have anything, post there. Now, a lot of the stuff I don't personally answer because I call it 5-cent questions. So if somebody says, hey, I tried to set up my Payoneer account, and for some reason I didn't get the code, what should I do? I mean, the answer is almost always pick up the damn phone and call them and ask them, right? So I won't waste my time on questions like that, right? But if I have a groundbreak, because somebody else in the group can answer that question.
But
right?
that question will get answered by somebody in the group. So fear not, your questions will be answered.
So somebody will answer that question, which is fantastic. But what I will do is I will go in there and I will show you. Like one of the things, you've probably forgot this because we've given you so much stuff, but I have promised you landing pages, doorway pages, templates. I've already promised you those. Okay? You will get those, the templates. As we're rolling these out and using these and messing around with these, I will give them to you and say, here's our template. You can use it, right? So that's just a few of the many things we have. Will and I are working on other software right now. The beautiful thing is whatever you get, we've already used it, you know? So if it's good enough for us, imagine what it's going to be like for you when you use it. So yeah, the long and short of it is this is something that's just going to get better and better and better. And I mean, just between us girls in this room here, in 2014, I've heard it through the grapevine that they're doing another launch of ASM, right? What the hell?
Wow. Oh. That should be like, yeah. It's more power to the community.
True.
Thinking competition.
Yeah, the first thing I hear when I hear it is awesome, because first of all, Will and I are going to be promoting that damn thing, right? So I expect you to talk about what a great idea it was to buy from us as opposed to anybody else, okay? Seriously. I'm not joking. Serious. So there's that. Secondly, how much more value is that going to bring in if for no other reason than Will and I will be incentivized to create amazing new things just so we can promote this again? So there's going to be new stuff just from that alone. But beyond all that, the more people that we pipe in is imagine if Matson would have been like, oh, damn it, new ASM members, I'm not going to share anything with them, right? Then you would have lost out. So this is something we teach the next generation. And then the really profitable people will be able to lift up everybody else. And so there's that. So you're going to get a whole bunch of stuff. This thing extends way beyond today and this weekend. And so what I would hope for you as we wind down here and they have to kick us out of this room is I want you to take what we said today to heart. There's a whole bunch of things. I just threw 56 things at you easily. The most important thing you need to absolutely do from what we talked about today is build that number and then work backwards from that each month, okay? Everything else needs to fit within that number or needs to be forgotten for now, okay? The wonderful thing is if you forget it for now, you can ask us about it later or find it later and remember it, okay? You don't have to carry it in your head. So only carry in your head what would make sense for you to help you achieve that number. So look at this weekend as detective work for you to build clues that will lead you to the trail to get that number. But then when you get home, set that number and then work backwards. Here's the number. Now, which one of these clues that I picked up from Jason, from Wilson, from somebody I talked to at lunch, from Matt and Jason at the main event, right? And use those clues to help you achieve that number. Don't just say, I got 56 ideas, let me try like a little bit from each one of these things and then hope that something good will come out of it. So,
how many ASM1 people here? A few? Okay. How glad were you that we promoted ASM2 and then built the ranker and built those other things?
Yeah.
Right? So now think about the people here that are ASM1 and 2. When there will be a 3, how cool will it be for you to also have access to the new tools we're going to build in the promotion for that?
Yeah.
So it's not an, it's like, yay, right?
Yeah, and by the way, you got a huge head start on them anyway, so you're already...
So Matson, you had a comment or question?
Yeah, first of all, if you haven't stopped by to say hi to me, introduce yourself. I'd love to meet everyone. But just a couple quick comments. The Alliance tool, I do use the emails, but I don't use all the other stuff, and we're still making great sales, so you don't need it. And the thing we don't like about it is that it tells everybody what your product is. So if you're okay with that, then it's free links. So I guess it's worth it. But if you want to keep it private, then I wouldn't use it. But as far as voting up or down reviews, it only takes a handful to get that benefit. So just have your friends and family give you 5 votes, and you get what you need. So you don't need that. As far as the Amazon ads, they convert really well, but I have my daily budget set at $100, and we've spent about $200 in the last 6 months. So there's just you can't scale it up, but the ones that you get are great clicks. I've spent about $200 and made $3,500. So I just wish I could.
You won't get that ROI anywhere else, by the way.
So that was just my comments from what we've been talking about.
Excellent. All right, well, thank you for being here. Give yourself a round of applause. And let's kick some ass for 2014.